Hi, this is Margaret Maloney, and welcome to the Death Dhamma podcast. Open and honest discussions with wise and skillful teachers about their experiences with life, death, and Buddhism. If you wonder how others on the path have dealt with death and dying and grief, then be sure to listen in. Everybody has a story, a perspective, and a valuable lesson to share. Embrace death, live a full life, and learn how to love impermanence. Because as my dear father used to say, nobody gets out of this alive. Hello, my friends. Margaret Maloney here, and it's time for Death Dhamma Ahas. Today, considering the lessons learned from my most recent podcast and discussion with Venerable Karma Lekshe Tsomo. And in our discussion, there's something she said to me that I carry with me all the time now, and it's been several months since our talk, and it was, have an open heart. And I've found that that comment is so useful, and it is such an overarching theme that we can use throughout our lives, whether we are having death-focused discussions or not. In fact, what a useful mantra. So if you want a mantra to get through your day, consider using have an open heart. For example, when we discussed about when she lost her dog as a child, which led us to talk about how young children are ill-prepared to deal with death, and that truthfully, we don't always have good resources for them. And this is a common theme, something that has come up with several of our teachers that I've had the opportunity to speak with, is this encountering death when we are young. We don't know how to navigate it, and many of our adults don't know how to help us. One way for us to have an open heart is to seek to be able to work with children, to meet them in discussions on death and loss and grief, and to do more than to pat them on the head and say, your dog will go to doggy heaven. And to acknowledge that the reason we don't do this is because we are still navigating the difficulties of dealing with death and the challenges. And so have an open heart to yourself as well. Having an open heart means that Buddhism is not just sitting and meditating. Meditation is very important and will strengthen our minds and our abilities to handle difficult things in life. We also want to take action. And the ability to take action requires us to have an open heart so that we are making ourselves available to help others. Because others have had an open heart, we have the good fortune to live in a time where we can access so many teachings. Venerable Karma Lekshe Tsomo is very open in saying that when she became a Buddhist, and as she was studying more and learning more in the 1950s, there was not a lot available, and she was scouring bookstores to find what she could find, and her search led her ultimately to India and to practice and to training, which is to our benefit that her path took her there. And you know what? It is because she has an open heart that I was able to have a discussion with her and to bring that discussion to you. Having an open heart also means living a wholesome life so that you are more likely to have a beneficial outcome and to stay away from unskillful actions. And when you live an ethical life and you practice with action and with meditation, you are more likely to be able to meet difficulty and death in a calm and unfazed manner, that you will be more likely to navigate the stages of your own death and to recognize them and greet them as you experience them, and to subdue your fears, because through your practice, you have developed an open heart to your own death. The truth of impermanence is we are dying at the molecular level all of the time. And this is another thing for us to have an open heart toward, is in our practice of impermanence and in our death practice. We don't need to just jump to, I'm going to die, my loved ones are going to die, we are all of the nature to die. We can also sit and contemplate the rising and falling that's occurring in our own bodies. The rising and falling that's occurring in me as I'm here discussing this with you right now. Look, a skin cell just died. Oh, look, there's a new skin cell. Okay, I can't actually see them, but I can understand that this process of rising and falling is happening within me all of the time. Another way to look at it is to say, we've been dying since we were born. And that is normal and how it is meant to be until we have no more rebirth, right? We are all part of a larger community. And as a larger community, we share different beliefs, different backgrounds, different customs. One of the ways in which we can have an open heart is to learn from the experiences and the beliefs and traditions of others. For example, she shared with me a story of a family in, I believe it was in Thailand, and their son, their only child, died in a tragic accident on the road. And they had the life skills to deal with his death. And I'm not saying that they weren't sad, but what I am saying is that what others might look at and say, look at this poor, simple peasant family and this horrible loss, but let's also look at their amazing ability to process that loss, because they already were practicing and they understood impermanence and they knew that death could come at any time for anyone. And they knew that he had been living a good, ethical life. In fact, what he did was he helped out at a local monastery, and he helped and served the nuns, who in turn were right away able to chant for him so that he could transition. The truth is, no one can face our grief for us. We must do it ourselves. And one of the best ways for us to do it ourselves is to try to face it as directly as we can, to sit and see the grief that we face and acknowledge it for what it is. And we can't fix someone else's grief, but sometimes having an open heart to someone who is grieving is to just sit with them silently and to be with them and to let them talk when they need to talk and to let them be quiet when they need to be quiet. And above all, not to place our shoulds on them. You should be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. You should sleep less. You should sleep more. You should eat more. You should eat less. You should cry more. You should cry less. You should move. You should stay. All of those things that rise up in us when we watch someone else go through a difficult time, which may be coming from pure intentions or could be arising because of our own fears and discomforts around situations. To have an open heart means to just be there and to have an open heart to ourselves and notice, oh, right now I want to tell this person what to do so they will be okay. And with my open heart toward myself, I see that that is all about getting them to do something that's going to make me feel better about their situation. When someone we love dies, to have an open heart to that situation could mean to seek to appreciate that the loss of someone else is a precious teaching to us. And it could be an opportunity to appreciate who they were to us in their lifetimes, the good experiences we had together, the accomplishments they had in their lives, and to take this as an opportunity for gratitude and celebration. If we can have an open heart toward using death as an experience to celebrate, as opposed to an experience to simply cry. And above all, we can make every encounter with a sentient being precious. There's a lot going on right now, and we don't always agree with one another, with family members, friends, others. It's a time of difficulty and strong opinions and some divisiveness. And what we can do with an open heart is be the ones who bring things into balance by bringing kindness in every encounter with every sentient being, making all of those encounters precious and creating that ripple effect of kindness. And this is why that one statement, have an open heart, is so deeply meaningful to me, because it is a mantra that I can use from sunrise to sundown, from the minute I wake up until I go to sleep, to navigate all of the different situations in my life. And that includes, of course, the practice of making friends with death. So let's have an open heart. This has been the Death Dhamma podcast with Margaret Maloney. Thank you for being here. Your reviews and comments are greatly appreciated. And please come find me on margaretmaloney.com, MargaretMeloni. And don't forget to check out Carpooling with Death, How Living with Death Will Make You Stronger, Wiser, and Fearless, available in all your favorite formats over on Amazon. And most importantly, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be safe, at ease, and free from suffering. Bye for now.